Welcome to Freedomly Speaking Podcast with your host, Carleatha Wells, where everything is spoken of from my heart to yours. As parents of millennials, that can be some of the hardest times. But what we're doing sometimes, we're failing our young people and not understanding that, you know, how we had to think, ooh, they think they know everything. Ooh, ooh, he getting on my nerves because, the way he's talking to me, the way he's treating me, or the things that they're doing. But what we have to realize, the sins of our transgressions fall on the children and our children's children. Even to the single moms, if you the single mom or the single dad, even what your spouse or your significant other who you conceived this child with, you got to think about their behaviors. You're also dealing with the behaviors of that parent, the father, the mother, the grandparents. You got all that lineage that you have to deal with when you're dealing with the personality and molding that child. A lot of times we think because that child grown, or they can raise their own selves, but you still have to learn how to be the parent to the adult child. How to be the parent to the adult child. Because that's the part where a lot of parents are failing. And not that I'm picking on him, but I'm using that instance with Kirk Franklin and his son. And that mother not understanding that the reason why that child is going through so much, because you have to think of, you wasn't always perfect. Then your parents wasn't always perfect. Then your parents' parents wasn't even perfect. And that's on both sides. That child is fighting still for his own identity in all of that crisis of dealing with all of those different spirits. That child is dealing with that. So then we as parents, get out. You're getting on my nerves. You think you're grown. But he's in a stage of confusion, because you know that age to me from between, I say 18 to 26, 27, and I say up to 30. Sometimes you still trying to find yourself. That's that confusion state that you want to be your own person, but you're dealing with all these personalities. You're dealing with things from your past, your childhood. You're dealing with, how to become your own person, dealing with the sins of your forefathers. You have to break generational cycles and patterns. And what a lot of parents have done, it happened with me. There was no one to help me break the generational cycles and patterns, especially with my mother and my father. My father didn't want to own up to the fact that he had me out of wedlock. You understand? I'm the product of an affair. He didn't want to own up to his own wrongness and how it felt on me. And I had to fight that. No, I'm not going to be like that. I don't want guys like, no disrespect to my father, but I don't want guys like my father who cheat on women and, have affairs. And to me, it's disrespect. It's like I was attracting that kind, but I had to fight that off. And couldn't understand. And this one lady, she told me, she said, "Cause you're attracting what's in you." And I didn't really understand what she was meaning. But she was trying to not talk about my dad so much. But what I had to realize, I had to fight off the sins of my father. I had to fight off the sins of my mother. Bless her heart, she was a good one, but she was looking for love in the wrong places. Because what she was fighting through, and her mom didn't help her fight off with the sins of their forefathers. You know how that thing goes, the chain. We as parents, it's like a marriage, it's like a covenant. They say for better or for worse, we got to stick with our kids. You don't want society to raise what you should have been raising. Because the world is ready to raise our young people. They're ready to sop them up in the gangs and the violence and the drugs, the sex trafficking, you name it, having multiple kids, different fathers, different mothers. The world is ready. Being homeless on the street, not fulfilling their dreams and their goals. It is still the job of the parent to nurture that child. You are the lifestyle coach. You are the coach in this kid's life. You are the number one coach still in this child's life. And a lot of times we do when it gets tough. And it's tough in them 18 to 27, 28 years old. I would say I'm going to say that age group. It's hard dealing with that adult child in that age, because they want to be grown, they want their own thing, they've been living with you, they don't want your rules, and if they still living underneath your rule, but I'm grown, I can do what I want to do. But you got to take the good and the bad. I had to learn that, and I was like, God began to show me, spirit, such as a spiritual counselor, how to even handle my son. Wait a minute, Clay, you charging at him for what some things you call, some things that his father called, some things that his forefathers have called. You got to help him break those cycles. He don't know any different. He don't know why he doing what he's doing. You, the parent, the coach in his life, have the lifestyle, have to help him to break those cycles. And so then it won't fall on your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren. And the lineage goes on. So as parents, I know it's tough. I know it's tough raising the millennials in this, not raising them, but being the adult parent to them. You can see them going in a wrong direction. I don't care if they lash out at you. It is still your job to tell your child, hey, that's wrong what you're doing right there, baby. Going down that path, this going to lead to that. Because you walked it. You walked down some of those paths. How can you tell a parent, no, I'm going to let him do what he want to do? No, I believe that you as the parent should be telling him. It is not somebody else, a mentor outside of your home, to tell them first. No, you are the mentor in your child's life. You are the first lifestyle coach or life coach. You are the leader and first leader, your child's idol. They should look to you, not some outsider first. It should be you telling them right from wrong. I don't care if they lashing. Take it with the good and the bad. That's your child. Because guess what? At the end of the day, you would rather know that your child is safe, got some knowledge, because at least they know better. Now, if they choose to go against what you've told them, at least they got that still working in their head. Okay, my mama did tell me, don't do this. That this is the consequences of this. At least they have that. And they don't have to go find it out on their own with the world, getting into all kind of troubles, digging themselves in deeper holes that's harder to get out of. And a lot of times what we have done as parents, and it happened to me, we'll let our child fall. Right, he got to fall on his own and get back up. I think, to me, that is crazy as hell. If you can see your child going down a bad road, why you can't be the parent to tell your child right from wrong? Oh, because he curses me out or he disrespects me. I got that. But a lot of times that disrespect is not coming from just the way you raised him. Think of the word of God said, don't be unequally yoked. Think of maybe there was some disrespect in his father's life or his mother's life or his grandparents' life. Maybe that's the reason why he's treating you the way he treated you. That's why you be careful who you sleep with. The little babies are cute, but they grow up to be grown people. The sex felt good, but then when you produced a child with somebody who you were unequally yoked with, that's what you have to deal with. You have to deal with that unequally yoked sin that is on your child. You have to deal with that as a parent. It is your job to help them fight their own battles, to fight their own demons. Because don't forget, you did some stuff too. You wasn't perfect. Even though God forgave you, you wasn't perfect. So that stuff, there's still consequences of all of your actions. And that word of God says it will fall on your children and your children's children. The thing we're doing wrong, we're leaving our children to fight our own demons that we pass down on them. How wrong is that? I believe if parents stepped up and still be parents to your adult child or children, you'll have less crime. You'll have less the morality rate would definitely go down, but you would have less children out of wedlock. You would have less crime. It would just be, if your parents took back their rightful role in their child's life, being that first coach, that first teacher, that first model, that first mentor, that first lifestyle coach, life coach, whatever you want to call yourself, your first therapist. You should be the one first your child should seek, or you seeking what's going on in your child's life, not outsiders. Yes, I'm a firm believer in therapy. I'm a firm believer, but you should be going to therapy with your child. Not, I'm just going to send my child to therapy. Well, boo, there are some things that you have done that your child is dealing with. Why is your child acting the way he's acting? Because I know my son has done things, and I'm going like, wait a minute, I didn't do this kind of stuff. But I have to look at, there was a father, and we were definitely unequally yoked. I mean, you know, the best thing came out there was my son. It's like two totally opposite people. But that's what happened. But we produced this beautiful son. But then it's things he has to battle that, wait a minute, okay, his parents must have dealt with that with him as a child. Oh my God. You know what I'm saying? And then there's things that I have family members. You got to remember, it's generational. And it's in the kindred spirits. You know, things that some of my family members have done. And I can see some things my son may do. And I'm like, wait a minute. Because I'm going like, wait a minute, I didn't do this. Wait a minute. Hold on. I didn't talk like this. Or I didn't do this here. I have to think about the fact, wait a minute. My son is dealing with things from generational spirits, lineage spirits, kindred spirits. All those harboring spirits are ready to leech on to our young people. And parents, take back your rightful role as you being the first mentor, the first lifestyle coach, the first therapist, the first everything in your child's life. Because the world is ready to stop up. It's doing it. But we have to be the parents to stop it. We have that power to take our bloodline back and put it on the right track to help do this. Because the world is just, we got so many parents, they throw up their hands, and I understand it. I do. I get it. But guess what? It's a covenant. For better or for worse, that's your child. Take back your rightful place in your child's life, your adult child. I'm talking to the parents with the adult child. Even with the parents, you already know the parents with the young child. You know, you should know your role. But right now, I want to speak to those parents, the millennial parents. You should be that first everything in your child's life and teaching them. Stick with them. Don't give up on them. I know it's tough. I know. They so susceptible to so much. You got all of this social media and texting. We didn't have all of that. You know, they hang out a little bit different from what I did. And, you know, but you have to understand, we have to do this. We in this fight together. We got to save our young people because they're dying. They're going astray. Man, it hurts my heart when I see a homeless young man the age of my son on the streets. I never forget me and my son, you know, we like to walk to the store. That's how we get our exercise. That's how I get my exercise, I let him walk. And it's one of the ways I get my exercise, rather. And we were walking, and there was this young man. He was just sitting in front of the DPS office in a chair, asleep. He wasn't underneath a tree. He was just sitting on the sidewalk, on the street. And I'm like, not waiting for anything, trying to catch him a nap. Young man. Man, that hurt my heart. I'm like, how did this happen? What's going on? Parents, we got to take our roles back. Save our young people. It's not for other people jobs and these different activists and community centers to and shelters to raise our children, our adult children, to help mentor them. It's our jobs. We got to be there for our kids, our adult kids. We in this together. And what I know, I'm going to share it with you. And what you know, you share it with me too. Because it's not easy. Because, like I said, that millennial group, you know, they think they know everything. You know how that role goes. And I got it. I'm there with you. I have one. So, but I thank God, you know, the point I got to thank God, he'll go on, he'll snap back in. He be talking like my son, like all nice and sweet. I'll be like, now that's my son right there. I think you got two personalities. But anyways, I mean, just joking on that. But anyway, let's do this. Let's stay in the fight with our kids so they can have their victories. Let's make it lighter on our kids and be that parent and giving them direction and guidance that they need. I love you. This has been Carleatha. Be blessed. Have a good one. Thanks for tuning in to Freedomly Speaking Podcast with your host, Carleatha Wells. Don't forget to subscribe by clicking that button so you can get that notification when I post new videos. Don't forget to like,